Hi folks, Kevin for drawingandcoloring.com, and today we're going to be drawing one of my favorite things, faces. I have a question. Do you want to have your portraits or faces look like real art? Stop having your friends laugh at you? Do you want to be able to prove that you can draw more than just a stick figure? Probably, if chances are you're watching this video, you probably don't feel as confident as you think you should. I have a 6-part formula that's going to get the proportions fixed, eyes level, mouth, ears all straight. And if you stay tuned towards the end, I have a special little bonus you might want to get into, especially if you want to take your art and those images to the next step. Okay, so today we're going to be drawing the face, and this is one of the most exciting things to learn how to draw correctly. And if you're really looking to push your portraits and figure art to the next level, this is definitely one of the places to start. There's nothing else that I like to draw that creates that excitement and enthusiasm as when I'm drawing faces or portraits. And these are really easy to do and really easy to get them to the next level if you just know a few quick simple steps. Each face or portrait has its own unique set of challenges and different types of looks, so it's really the steps laid out here are going to teach you how to attack any challenge with those faces, and you're not going to have to worry about having those huge forehead or the eyes sitting in the wrong place. The face is pretty much going to almost draw itself if you follow along and use the steps laid out in this video. On another note, the first 3 people to use the steps outlined in this video are going to get free personal video critiques of their drawings and me personally telling them how to improve those drawings of their faces. Be sure to get your images submitted in the comments below. At the end of this video, I'll give you a few more details on that. When you're drawing the face, the main obstacle to overcome is getting the proportions correct. Once they're in place, everything is pretty much downhill. So learning a few quick formulas for getting them down onto the paper is going to eliminate all that guesswork and uncertainty that you're probably having with, you know, getting everything in place. So yeah, without further ado, here we go. So here we go. We have an image. It's from one of my current projects actually that I'm working on. And in this shot, I'm looking directly at the camera, but my head is slightly turned, if you see that. Most of the heads you draw are not going to be directly facing front. So once you learn the proportions and internalize them, you'll really be able to draw and use them no matter what direction the subject's facing. So first off, if you look at the little diagram on the right there, the whole entire head is pretty much equally divided, and and it's actually subdivided as well using these main key points, but we'll get into it a little further down. So the first step to drawing and getting the proportions right is to draw a circle, and that's going to be the main point on the head. That's the starting point. The head is mostly a round shape, and some people use an egg shape, or there's different techniques, but I do find that this one works the best, and it's actually the most accurate if you really stick to it and kind of internalize it. So next is going to be step 2, that you're going to divide the circle down the center with a vertical line. So as you can see in this one, it extends slightly. And actually, if you look at the cross across the bottom, it meets the very bottom of that rung on the little diagram on the side there, but we'll get into more detail on that in a little bit. For right now, if you want, you can just go ahead and draw a direct line down the center and divide the circle into halves. Next, we're going to draw a line horizontally, and this is going to divide the circle into 4 quadrants. And that's really that. Now you have the main shape of the head, and if you didn't draw that little extended line, we'll get into it in just a little bit. So Since the head is not a perfect ball, what we're going to do is we're going to need to cut the sides off. And this is really where you get to determine the shape of your head. So here you can see on my head the lines follow the outside, the outermost part of my head. And you know, those are really, this is where you really get to manipulate and change the way the head is going to look ultimately. You can make it a little skinnier or wider or tighter, and depending on how you want your face shape to ultimately turn out, you just adjust those lines, and that is going to be what we chop off. So we're going to chop those off on the sides. And so after that, we're going to go to step 4, and now you're going to draw the major landing spots on the face. This is going to include the hairline, the brow line, which we actually already drew in. It's going to give you the bridge of the nose and the chin line, which is where we were talking about a little earlier. And these are going to be equally spaced on the head. So if you take your hand and measure using your thumb and index finger, you'll see that the distances between your hairline and your brow line are roughly the same. And the distances between the brow line to your nose and from your nose to the bottom of your chin are almost exactly the same as well. And that's where you can get the distance from that extended little bit on the circle to draw in that chin line. So these are going to be equally spaced, and if you take your hand and measure using your thumb, you can get all of these. You can go ahead and do it on your own head right now, and that'll really, you know, it'll give you a sense of kind of how this is all working. Now if you look at my face, it doesn't follow the lines exactly, and not all of the faces you're going to draw are going to. So you're going to remember, these are kind of just rough guidelines to kind of follow whenever you're drawing your faces. So next, now that you have all of those lines down, it's time to place the eyes. They are going to be roughly set in the middle of the bridge of the nose. Not the bridge of the nose, but in the middle of the bridge and the brow line. And if you let those dangle, and then we'll see. There we go. So if you divide the brow line and the bridge of the nose, you'll get the placement for the eyes. And the eyes actually have an interesting formula themselves. The width of the head can also be divided by 5 eyes. So if you see in this next thing right here, we have the width of the head is going to be equal to 5 eyes across. And the nose is actually going to be the width of an eye. So if you divide it by 5, you'll have the eye, the width of the nose, and the other eye all in the exact same spots that it needs to be. And we're also going to add, we're going to give you some more steps for finding the width of the nose as well. So moving on to step 5, now that we have the major elements and landmarks of the face laid down, we're going to go ahead and draw in the nose and the mouth. So as you can see on this one, we have the nose line and the mouth line. So how did we get those, right? If you divide the bridge of the nose and the chin line, you'll see that the mouth is almost exactly in between those. And to find the nose line, you would divide the distance between the mouth line and the bridge of the nose. And a special case on me is it's obviously not exactly in the center, but in most cases you're not going to find that. So it's kind of a rough guideline, but again, it is a guideline to go by. If you're drawing a perfectly symmetrical face, go ahead and divide it equally. It's perfectly fine. But so right now we're gonna go ahead to we're gonna draw the nose and the mouth, like we said, And the way to determine those is if you draw a straight line directly from the inside of the eye to the bridge of the nose, you'll have the width of the nose. So let me show you what we're talking about. The inside of the eye, I don't know, it says the inside of the nose here, but it's the inside of the eye. And if you draw a dotted line, well, not a dotted line, but if you draw a line directly down to that nose line, you're going to have the width of your nose. So you could even just make a little mark and then draw those lines, and then you'll get the width of the line for your nose. You'll get the nose width. And also if you draw a straight line directly from the center of the eyes to the mouth line that we have there, and you'll get the width of the mouth. So if you see right there, and you have the width of the mouth. So now the entire face is laid out and pretty much ready for more detail and structure, or anything else, or shading, or any of those little highlights or things that you can add, which that would be, I guess, a subject for another video, wouldn't it? We have one last step. It's going to be step 6, and that's the last piece of the face, which you can't see in this picture, but it is very important, and it is the ear placement. Yeah, so this is going to be one of the hardest places, is because the ears kind of seem like they sit anywhere on the head, and they're kind of hard to locate, especially when you're drawing them without any kind of reference points. So a simple way to figure that out is to draw your ears is to draw the ear in between the height of the eyes and the mouth line. So if you can see here, if you take the height, the distance between the mouth line and the eyes, that is where, that general area is where you're going to be drawing your ear. And you can kind of fluctuate in and out of there, but as long as it's in that area, it'll look pretty spot on. You won't be able to tell that it's, it won't look like it's some kind of alien ear or some kind of deformity. So there you have it. There are 6 steps to create an awesome face, and like I said, definitely my favorite things to draw. So if you practice, go ahead and practice these 6 steps, and you'll be on your way to getting the faces that will impress, impress your friends and family, and really take them to the next level. Which I know when I was drawing, if I had even known that these things existed, I would probably be a lot better off than I am now right now. So once I learned how to do this, my entire repertoire of faces and portraits really grew, and it actually opened up what I could do. So if you just learn these simple proportions, you'll be on your way to be just a better artist all around, because a lot of art is based on proportions and keeping them simple, and they're just rough guidelines that you can follow to get perfect looking proportions for face, figures, and everything really. So if you learn these, get them down, internalize them, you'll be on your way to making amazing and just really, really badass face portraits. So like I said in the beginning, I do have a little bit of homework for you. Go ahead, find a face from a magazine, a comic book, the internet, or just anywhere you can, and use the steps in this video to draw it. And once you do, go ahead and post them in the comments below. Post the link with to the picture, and the first 3 people to do so are gonna get a personal video critique from me to help them bring their faces to the next level. So do the homework. I guarantee you, I promise you, your portraits, your faces will get better. They'll get 10 times better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed already, or you can visit us on drawingandcoloring.com, please do so, and I'll see you in the next video.